Hello, welcome to
Papi, pre-movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every other week, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which of course they will.
Today we're going to be watching Liar Liar.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers for the end of the movie. Don't want to be spoiled.
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Good.
Other than having the lowest voice right now that you've ever had in our podcasting history.
Achoo!
And you're kind of getting over a cold, I guess. What do you have? Sore throat?
Check.
Sneezing?
Check.
Fever?
No check.
Cough?
Sometimes. Like a cough attack, but then the rest of the day, no
right.
coughs.
So you're a trooper. You're working through this so you can talk about Liar Liar being one of your favorite movies of all time.
What the fart?
Liar Liar came out in 1997 with a runtime of 1 hour and 26 minutes. It's streaming on Netflix. It was written by Paul Guay and Steve Mazur and directed by Tom Shadyac. The main stars are Jim Carrey, Maura Tierney, and Amanda Donohoe. Fun facts, in many of Jim Carrey's other movies, he's too ridiculous for me. I like his dramas more like The Majestic and Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. So what do you think of the movie?
He was too ridiculous for me.
Yeah, and this is him toned down a little bit.
I just felt like I wanted to go to sleep.
Because he was ridiculous?
Yeah, like I'd rather sleep than watch this movie.
But what does the ridiculous have to do with you falling asleep? Like, you just were that
like,
bored?
I just wanted to end it all, like, and go to sleep.
Okay. So what do you rate it?
1.5 stars.
Whoa, 1.5 star. I was rating it for you, thinking you were going to rate it a 2-star. Maybe 1.5, but I didn't think you were going to go that low. Because there was some parts that you laughed at. Hard.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe not that
doesn't
hard.
happen with me.
Maybe not that hard, but you did laugh at a few parts, and some of them were funny. And I think that type of comedy, Jim Carrey, his big movie is Dumb and Dumber. It was a series of movies where he's super dumb, but it's really funny. And Ace Ventura. And The Mask is another one of his popular movies. So he's real famous for making these ridiculous moves and being loud and crazy and over the top. I don't think that sells anymore. Who acts like that anymore? No one, I think.
No, I don't. I find it annoying and like loud, obnoxious people like him in the real world. I just describe them obnoxious. I don't find them entertaining or funny. I just find them disruptive.
Yeah. I have to say that when you watch him do his acting and his facial expressions and his movements, he's extremely talented. He's an amazing actor to me. One of my favorite movies of all time is Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, and he's a much more serious character. He's a really good actor, especially in the serious movies. But even the stuff that he does is pretty hard for anybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you might have, like, Michael Scott in The Office do kind of things like that, but not even nearly as ridiculous as him. I mean, he is a talented comedic actor, and I think he doesn't get his due. Either of them, but I think this movie was pretty dated and not so funny anymore.
But I think that I find Michael Scott funny, so I don't really know what the difference
he's not as
is.
crazy, I don't think.
He's just not so crazy all the time. I like when people are a little more serious. I find like the funniness in the seriousness. I think about Parks and Recreations. I like April and Ron, and those are the two like serious, like I hate everyone characters,
and they love each other,
really funny.
Right? Like,
yeah,
she's his perfect secretary, right?
Yeah. Why don't we get into the recap?
Okay. The movie begins with a classroom show and tell. The students are asked to tell what their parents do for a living. Max comes up and says his mom is a teacher and his dad is a liar. The teacher corrects him and says lawyer. And like Max doesn't even agree. He's kind of like, no, I think he's a liar.
No, he's just like, meh, like shrugs.
Yeah. Fletcher, Max's dad, is coming out of court victorious. His ex-wife Audrey calls him and reminds him to pick up Max. Fletcher goes back to work for a press conference and picks up Max late. Audrey is upset. And Jerry, Audrey's new boyfriend, is getting ready to move to Boston for work. So the one thing that I watched this movie and I kind of just got so annoyed was the timeline of things. The timelines don't make sense, that he's doing so many trips back and forth to pick up Max for like no reason. It is just a really weird situation. So I'll bring up the discrepancy. And the other thing is, in the beginning, Max says that his mom's a teacher. They're in the middle of a school year, right? Because he's going to school. And then I have some problems with that later. There was a lot of like plot hole situations that I look back on and go, oh my gosh, it was a little too much, too ridiculous.
I didn't really notice any plot holes, but I do think that this boyfriend is misunderstood. Because I feel like he's supposed to be painted as this villain almost. Well, definitely. He's like kind of the villain of this story. As
Not
like
really. I mean, I think Fletcher's the villain.
Annoying stepdad dude. And then, like, really, he's just trying to be nice. And Max loves him, too.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a wonderful person. The only thing that I thought was annoying was at the end when he tried to imitate the claw. Like, I think maybe we should, like, realize there's a boundary. Like, you can't just take over a dad's, like, role completely. But,
I agree.
But I think he was just trying to make Max happy.
Right.
And I think that, like, him being this, like, annoying, like, oh, you don't understand anything type of guy. It's like, Max loves this guy. Like, I don't understand why he's this villain almost.
He shows up and the first thing he does is go play with Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the claw thing was only because Audrey says, oh, well, you don't know about the claw thing. So he's like, well, I'll do whatever I can to make Max happy.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's not the cool, funny guy. He's just a serious, hardworking guy. And he gets a lot of hate for it. Especially from Audrey. I'm telling you, there's so many things on here. I'm just like, this is so dumb. And I was a little disappointed because I remember being really entertained by this movie the first time I watched it. And now I'm like, it's a little sad. That's not so good.
What would you rate it?
Probably like a 3, maybe 2.5 stars.
No longer Papi approved.
Yeah, no, I think it's Papi unapproved now. I just remember it being so funny.
Papi hated.
No, Papi hated movies. Max wakes up the next morning on his birthday. Fletcher gives him some baseball stuff. Max is sad when he asks Fletcher to play with him and he says he has too much work. Later, when Audrey picks up Max, she reminds Fletcher of his birthday party at 6. Real quick. So he spent the night with Fletcher. And then that morning, Audrey picks up Max to go to his house. Right? So he sees him for breakfast. They hang out that time. The timeline is crazy.
Also, I do think it's a little weird that he like hears about the birthday and was like, I completely forgot, which makes sense. People forget birthdays all the time. But he had been with Max the entire time. You don't think that Max would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my birthday tomorrow. Like that entire time.
Well, he got a gift for him. Like he didn't buy it, but his secretary did. So he knew about it.
He didn't know about the birthday. The secretary, he was like, I completely forgot. And the secretary's like, don't worry, I got him a gift for you. And then I'm like, you're telling me that he seriously did not, like, kids love their birthday. They always know when their birthday is.
Yeah, and then there's birthday parties being planned for some time, right? So he's got the invite on it. The other thing that's weird is that it's not like he doesn't see his dad. In this movie, they see each other like 18 times. He probably sees them every so often. He's probably just late all the time or a no-show sometimes. But it's not like he's completely absent.
Yeah. And I think that it was silly. Maybe he would have been like, oh, I completely forgot it's tomorrow. But I think that he would have been reminded earlier by his own son who had been spending like half the day with him.
Yeah.
Because I like talking about my birthday. You like talking about my birthday. I'm always like, I'm so excited for my birthday tomorrow. Can't wait for my birthday party. And then Audrey and all that stuff.
Audrey calls him every like 5 minutes to remind him stuff. So she didn't remind him about the birthday?
As a forgetful guy that's always late, you wouldn't have kept drilling into him that the birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's an important day. You better not forget. At work, Fletcher and Miranda meet their new client, Mrs. Cole. She's getting divorced and wants half of her husband's money, even though they have a prenup. Fletcher says he'll spin a lie so great, they'll win the case. Mrs. Cole is so excited, she grabs his bum as she leaves. Miranda's also impressed and starts making out with him. I do want to hear about what you think of that scene later. We'll see. At Max's party, Audrey tells Jerry that she doesn't want to marry him. Then Fletcher calls and tells Max he's not going to be able to make it to the party because of work. In reality, he's hooking up with Miranda. Max is crushed, and when he blows out the candles of his birthday cake, he wishes that his father could not lie for an entire day. What do you think of that wish?
Kind of sad.
I don't understand why he thinks that dad's lying.
Because his mom's always like, your dad promised to be here, and then he never comes. That's the lying.
Is that lying?
He's not thinking about...
That's just him breaking promises. It's not lying. Like, he is working.
But, like, it's a lie. Like, he's saying, I promise I'll be there. That's a lie. He's lying.
Yeah.
When he's saying that.
Yeah, I guess breaking a promise is kind of like a lie.
It's not like he knows about all the lawyer stuff. He just wants him to finally show up to something. Yeah,
but then he'd be like, I hope my dad could just be here more. Or, like, be a better dad or something. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't go with the story, obviously. The next morning, Fletcher wakes up with Miranda. He insults her, and she kicks him out. He doesn't even understand why he did that. He goes to the elevator and meets a woman there. Then he begins to insult her about her chest, and he gets punched.
The only thing I noticed, it was very strange. It felt out of place. It might make sense in the movie, but it just didn't fit. Is that the punch was like a cartoon punch, like a 80s Batman punch.
But you don't see the punch either, right?
No,
it's off camera.
But like it's a sound effect in a movie with zero sound effects otherwise, and it's very like it was just like off-putting, like off-puttingly strange. Like I was like, wait, what did I just hear? Like that was very peculiar.
Yeah, it sounds just like this. And so it was kind of weird that they would put that in there. Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, I was just, like, I was off-put by that sound effect. Yeah, it was funny. It was very cartoony. It wasn't even like a TV punch. It was more like a Looney Tunes kind of. Yeah. Yeah, like, boom. Yeah. Fletcher gets to court and meets up with Mrs. Cole. The judge comes in and Fletcher asks for continuance. But when the judge asks if he really needs it, Fletcher can't lie. And he says no. The case is set for later that day. Fletcher goes to his office and insults everyone. In his office, he gives himself a test and realizes that he can't lie. I think this part's also stupid, the previous part, because he's starting to insult everyone, but he doesn't need to say anything. He could have just been like, nothing. Good morning. Or just being like, morning. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Yeah. It's not like it's not like a power where he has like to say everything on his mind. Yeah. That's not what's going on. It's just he can't lie. So if he's going to tell a lie, he won't be able to say that. If he's saying good morning or hello, that's not a lie. You can just say that and then walk past. And that is the biggest plot hole in the movie. He doesn't have to lie, but he doesn't have to tell the truth either. He could just be quiet. But I wonder if his intent was to lie. Hey, looking good. You lose any weight? That's what he told him earlier on in the movie. And then it comes out a lie. But he knows that he can't, like, he won't tell a lie. And if he's already thinking that, he should probably just be like, good morning. Because the girl in the elevator says, everybody's so nice to me. I don't know why. And he's like, of course, it's because of your big chest. That's what he says, right? And then gets punched in the face for it, right? And so, so that, you get it, right? Because he's asked a question and he has to answer it. But once he knows he can not lie, then he should just stop talking. Or just say things differently. I'm just saying it's not like he has to say what's on his mind. Because to that girl, he could have been like, it's because you're beautiful. That wouldn't have been a lie. No. This is a beautiful woman. No, but that's not why he thinks. Well. The reason he thinks people are nicer is because of her chest, according to him. Oh. Well, I just think that there's like certain scenarios where he could just rephrase things and it still wouldn't be a lie. It's like you're hiding something, though. You're being deceptive still. I just think this could have been avoided. And I think the movie kind of went for the route of like he says everything on his mind every time he opens his mouth. But like that's not the power as explained by the birthday wish rule. Anyway, so he realizes he can't lie. Greta comes in and reminds him to pick up Max. Fletcher calls Audrey to tell her he can't pick him up. She tells him that she and Max are moving
Why
to Boston.
Why can't you take the bus?
Max?
Yeah, school bus.
You didn't take a school bus. Someone picked you up every day.
Because you were there. Because you're a teacher and you taught at the same school.
There's no school buses at our whole school. What are you talking about? You don't know how the school buses work in this system.
They are school buses.
I know. She tells him that she and Max are moving to Boston with Jerry. He tells her he's coming over to talk about it. So Jerry asks, do you want to marry me? He says no. Do you want to move to Boston with us? And they're like, yes. Real quick. She's a teacher, right? How do you just leave and go to Boston? You're in the middle of a school year.
Yeah.
It's not the last day of school. Because the kid's still going to school. He's still at school that day. And then, like, why do you expect this lawyer dad who works till like 5 or 6 o'clock in court cases to go pick up the son?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
And why can't
And she's a teacher. So she gets out earlier.
Why can't the stepdad? Wait, what does the stepdad do?
He's a medical consultant, but he's like moving.
If he's moving to his job, that means he's not working right now.
No.
Yeah, and it's just like a pickup. Like, he's going to go maybe do his homework for like an hour and then like go play baseball. Like, that's what he's going to do with either person or the children in his neighborhood. So
I don't know. Like, he's supposed to pick him up from school on it the day before, and then he's supposed to pick him up from school the day after, and the whole thing is confusing. Fletcher leaves and drives like a maniac. He's pulled over and admits to all his traffic infractions and shows the cop the glove compartments full of tickets. So there's one of those, did he have to show him the tickets? Why open the glove compartment with the parking tickets?
No, this one makes sense because he says a bunch of things and then the cop goes, anything else? Like anything else that you need to take care of?
Yeah.
And then like he says that because it's still something that
but he doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And he gets to Audrey's house in a taxi and she's mad he's late.
Well, if he said no, that would be a lie because
no, he doesn't say anything. Else. He said yes and then drove off. Like, he gets his car taken anyways. Audrey and Fletcher talk and she agrees to give him one more chance. He tells her about his affliction and she tells him that was the wish Max made on his birthday. She really wants Max to have Fletcher near him, so he gives Fletcher an ultimatum. Come that night at 6. If you don't come, we leave with Jerry. Fletcher visits Max at his school, so he actually
How quickly can you pack your entire house?
Exactly, because she leaves. She actually almost gets to Boston. And there's another scene that makes me go, okay, this movie's pretty dumb. Fletcher visits Max at his school and tells him that his wish came true. Then he gives him another cake and candles and asks him to take it back. It doesn't work and he goes back to work.
Obviously, it's not his birthday.
I didn't even think of that. Cause
you can't have a wish on a day that's not your birthday. It won't work.
I didn't even think of that. I mean, that totally makes sense. At work, the truth saying continues and it gets Fletcher into trouble. Greta comes in to check on him and he tells her about his affliction. She tests him by asking if he was being honest when he didn't give her a raise earlier. He admits to lying and she quits. Meanwhile, Miranda overhears everything and comes up with a plan to get back at Fletcher. Once again, he has this court case he's supposed to be attending pretty soon. He's going back and forth.
How long is this break?
No, I don't know.
He drove. He got his car taken. He got his car back. He went to the park with Max. By the way, he just walked straight into the classroom. No visitor pass or anything.
Right.
Like, I was a teacher. I wouldn't be like, hey. I would have been like, who are you, perverted, creepy man?
Well, she might know him. I mean, I know all the parents of my students, but they don't just walk into my class. No.
If some parent just walked in and was like, let's go to the playground at the same school with all the children, like, that would be really weird.
That's pretty weird, yeah.
Like, you would not let them do that. Just walk in.
No. They got to sign in at the office. Miranda takes Fletcher to a board meeting with all the partners, including Mr. Allen, and asks him what he thinks of him. So Mr. Allen's their boss. Fletcher answers horrible things about Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen looks like he's about to get angry, but starts cracking up. He thinks it's a joke, like a roast. Then Fletcher insults all the partners, and they all have a laugh. Mr. Allen tells him that he'll be in court later to see the case, and depending on the outcome, offers him a partnership. Fletcher goes to court and is depressed because he doesn't see a way to win without lying. Every witness he talks to goes badly. He goes to the bathroom to stall and beats himself up in hopes of getting the trial postponed. But it doesn't work.
Plot device.
Uh-huh.
They bring him in and they're like, there's a burglar. You got beat up. In this moment, he's not lying. He's just like, yeah.
Well, the guy asks, are you okay enough to continue? And he's like, yes.
No, but it's like, if he was continuing to do the same like pattern of lying that's throughout the movie, he would have been like, no, it was me. I beat myself up. Like, that's what would have happened.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, they were just like, there must have been a burglar. And he just like,
he just kept quiet.
Cricket.
Yeah, for the first time, he just stopped talking about it.
Yeah, like in this
He's
moment,
like, no, it was me. Like,
yeah, like if it was the logistics were still working the same, then he would have been like, I did it. I beat myself up in that moment. But this moment,
well, that actually would have got it. Maybe he would have got postponed then, because it'd have been like, are you okay? He's like, no, I'm not okay. Something's wrong with me, you know? And then he would have been like sent away, maybe. Fletcher calls Mrs. Cole to the witness stand and begins questioning her. He looks at her driver's license and sees a discrepancy. He asks her for her real age, and he realizes that when she signed the prenup, she was only 17. Because she was a minor, the contract is null and void. The judge rules in favor of Mrs. Cole. Fletcher wins.
Wouldn't she be taken to jail?
No.
It's a fake driver's license.
No, she just lied about it. No, the license is real. She just lied about her age.
I thought that the license was fake.
Well, you know, if it was a fake license and it was like enough, because she did it under false pretense, you know? But I don't know. I mean, we're not lawyers, so we don't know. Maybe you'll become a lawyer one day and then you can tell me the truth about this. Because I'm pretty sure in law school you have to watch Liar Liar. It's part of the courses. I'll ask my friend Waleed. Waleed, did you have to watch Liar Liar at law school? You'll probably say yes. After the trial, Mrs. Cole says she wants to contest his custody to get more money and child support. Fletcher is destroyed by her greed and how that will affect Mr. Cole and the children. Mr. Allen comes to Fletcher and shakes his hand and gives him partnership. Fletcher is upset and quits his job. He says the system and the court are a sham. The judge finds him in contempt of court and throws him in the slammer. In jail, Fletcher calls Audrey and explains why he's not there and asks her to bail him out. She's hurt and says they're leaving with Jerry that night. Greta comes and bails Fletcher out, and he runs off to the airport to catch them. Real quick. So she already had the tickets to Boston. She was waiting for him to talk to him, and then she already bought the tickets? And did they pack?
They have a huge house.
Yeah, I don't know.
As all movie character families do, which is strange, because she's a single mother. Well, yeah.
Well, she's probably pays child support.
But, like, it was a huge house.
Well, that's not unbelievable because Fletcher is a lawyer, a very successful lawyer, so he probably makes a lot of money. And so they probably bought that house together. And then, you know, he left and went to an apartment and she kept the house. So I can see that. But then why you could just up and leave in 2 hours time? He's supposed to be there at 6. By 8, she's like out. I don't get it. At the airport, Max and Audrey join Jerry. They board the plane and Jerry tells her he loves her and she says thank you. So here's the part that I go, she doesn't love him. She's never said that she loves him, right? So it's not like he was shocked that she didn't say I love you that time. She's probably never said it. Why would he ask to marry her if she's never even said I love you to you?
And if he asked to marry her and her response is, because she didn't say no, she went,
well, later she says no to him.
Yeah. Then the next immediate response is like, okay, move to Boston with me. What is going on?
But it does work. Will you marry me? No. Will you move to Boston with me? Okay. I love you.
What is going on?
Thank you. Like, it was just dumb, right? And the whole movie, she's still in love with Fletcher, right? Like,
this is what I'm saying. This guy is supposed to be this dumb, weird guy, and I think
he's just, to me, he's kind of like a pathetic figure. He's a sad figure, nice guy, nothing wrong with him. Loves this girl, loves this kid, says no. And even at the end, Max says, "Is it okay for me to stay?" And he's like, "Of course, buddy. Do what's best for you." And then at the end, he also says, "If you guys ever want to come to Boston, I'll be there waiting for you." Like, dude, go get another girlfriend. Like, obviously she's the worst. So don't. Fletcher gets there too late and the plane is already boarded. He gets on the luggage conveyor belt and gets to the tarmac. He steals a motorized staircase and follows the plane. He gets the plane to stop and then crashes hard, breaking both of his legs. As he's taken away on a stretcher, he apologizes to Max. He tells him he loves him and doesn't want to lose him and will do better. Max wants to stay, and he and Audrey end up staying at home after all. A year later, it's Max's birthday again, and Fletcher and Audrey are both there. Right before he blows out the candle, Fletcher tells him to be careful what he wishes for. After he blows the candles out, Audrey and Fletcher kiss. They ask him if he wished for them to be together, and he said no, he wished for rollerblades. The end. You know, after reading this a recap, I think I might even give it a lower, probably like a 2-star. So many plot holes. It was the whole movie is based upon the performance of one person. And then even he, although talented and pretty funny, gets a little boring, tiresome.
I don't think it was funny.
You didn't find any part funny?
No.
Yeah, they were just cheap laughs. But I thought some of it was funny. But unfortunately, it was a disappointment watching this movie.
Nothing was really clever.
Yeah, no. It was all like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is a cartoon.
I don't think it was very funny.
All right, could this movie still be made today?
Probably, but I don't know if people would watch it because I don't think this type of comedy is very well liked. I feel like maybe in a different form, it would be a kids' movie.
100%.
Yeah, I think it would be reformatted in a kids' movie way and maybe go on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon instead.
Right.
But I think that's the only way I can see it being made again today.
All right, anything else that it couldn't be made?
I think a few jokes.
All right, what do you got?
So I think that when he's talking to the two women in the room about lying about this case, I feel like he's getting like taken advantage of.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like I feel uncomfortable. Like I
'Cause
feel like
one of them
he's
grabs
being
his butt.
like assaulted.
Yeah. I agree. He didn't want to be with Miranda.
Yeah. I think it was just like very uncomfortable.
He only did it to further his career. Because he knew if he said no to her, he wouldn't get a partnership.
Yeah, it just felt very uncomfortable. It felt, first of all, the first lady, like, pinching his butt. Like, okay, that was uncalled for and very weird. And, like, not asked for at all. And secondly, this Miranda lady is totally abusing her power in a very inappropriate way.
So definitely a sexual assault.
Yeah, so I thought that scene was just very uncomfortable. And the way that she treated him afterwards was uncomfortable, too.
Well, he insulted her, and she wanted to get revenge.
But still, like, I don't think that's in a place for, like, the work.
No, well, they should have never hooked up. I agree with that. But I think her reaction, because he insulted her, he said something, and we won't repeat it because we're at the family podcast. And she was destroyed by it. It hurt. And so, and her getting back at him made sense to me. And wanting to ruin him made sense to me. Obviously, the whole workplace is messed up. And I do think it is assault of some kind because he really didn't have a choice. If he wanted to continue to be a partner. It just felt very
uncomfortable and a very lighthearted movie.
Yeah, but see, it wasn't really that much. There was a lot of that. Because there was innuendo throughout the movie. And it is a PG-13 movie. But I think, like you said, if they redid this movie, his ridiculousness is G-rated. Yeah. Because he's like a cartoon. He's like a clown.
Yeah.
But then you add in mature themes. You're right. It's like, why do like adults want to watch this movie? Why do teenagers want to watch this? You think like little kids would enjoy his ridiculous antics?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a waste of such good
If
acting.
you ever see Ace Ventura, any of those, you'll see how. And I think Dumb and Dumber is on the list because Dumb and Dumber is pretty good. He is over the top ridiculous.
You'll see.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And so I might not watch Dumb and Dumber because I think maybe it's played out. Anything else on your list of stuff?
I think there was one joke. It was very dark. I don't like it.
Do you want to share it or no?
Okay. It was this joke when he gets bailed out of jail
Okay.
By Greta. Greta bails him out of jail, and she says, "Am I too late? Have you been sexually molested yet, or should I circle the block?"
That's pretty funny. Because she's mad at him.
That's way too dark.
She's super mad at him.
Especially as like something happens all the time to people in prison. That's just like very dark. There could have been a joke like that didn't need to be so dark. It could have been like, have you been beaten up yet? Do you have any new tattoos?
Yeah.
Like, have you been like
yeah.
a part of a gang?
Sexual molestation is never to laugh at. But it was pretty funny.
Have you got in like a piercing yet? Have you been beaten up yet? I think that's like a perfect like switch around. That's like not nearly as dark.
Yeah, I see. I can see it. There's never something to joke about. Anything else?
No.
Oh, there's a huge one you missed. A very, very racist one. He takes off a man's toupee, puts it in the air, and does a total slur against Native Americans. I guess it just went over your head. Maybe that slur itself you don't know it anymore. But it was very offensive. That will not happen anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't recognize anything like that, I don't think.
All right, anything else you want to share?
No.
All right. Does it pass the Bechdel test?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. All right, Bechdel test is a test to check for female representation in movies. There are 3 criteria. Criteria number 1, are there 2 or more named females?
There's Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Greta.
Yes.
There's Miranda.
All right, there are 3. So it passes part 1. Criteria number 2, do they speak to each other?
There's a scene where 2 women talk to each other.
Who?
The main character has a mom. We don't see her, but she's always calling for him. And Greta always answers the phone and talks to him and keeps saying that he is on vacation. I'll talk to you later, and like says her name and then like hangs up.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. We don't see the conversation though.
No. Well, we hear the conversation.
Yeah, I don't think they do talk. So I don't know if there's any talking to each other.
That's it.
There's Mrs. Cole and Miranda talk to each other when he's around. So criteria number 2 is passed. Criteria number 3, do they talk to each other about anything other than a man?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they do. So it does not pass. All right, so it doesn't pass the Bechdel test. Anything else before we move on?
Mm-mm.
Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app, or like our podcast on YouTube. And if you liked today's episode and watched till the end, comment down below the scales of justice emoji.
We put on an episode every Monday.
If you want to see extra podcast content, follow our TikTok at Papi Approved Movies.
If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestions.
And remember, it has to be PG-13.
I'll be back in 2 weeks to watch La Vita è Bella.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.